All right, all right. Good morning. Good morning. How the hell is everybody's already? You guys already got a whole conversation going on here. All right, let me blow up the chat so I can see it. How are we doing on this fine Tuesday? Something going down today, right? So, wow, we got a lot of comments already. Hey Daniel, how you doing, bud? I don't think Swayman's playing, right? I'm pretty sure Corpusalo is still in, even though Swayman signed, right? Yeah, Civil Knight. Um, because the salary cap constraints. I mean, I feel bad for the kid. I thought he was going to at least be able to be there for the banner raising ceremony, but um, it is what it is. I don't know why we're in such a condition. I don't understand what the plan is there. Why the plan wasn't to have Spencer up from the front from the beginning of the year. Um, but I know we got a couple of injuries, so we'll have to see how that all goes. How you doing, Metal? Oh yeah, the Stanley Cup rings. Holy crap! I was talking with Trey yesterday, and you guys already know I had the plan after they win the cup again to steal the cup and bring it to my house so I can get a picture with the dogs. Um, I think the best thing for me to do, considering the rings, would now be to actually hope YouTube doesn't take the video down. Let's just say I will acquire a player to escort me and the cup to my domicile, at which point I will remove the ring from said player's hand and put it on my own finger and take a picture with the ring and the cup right next to the dogs. So if you'd like to be part of that, after we won the second cup, let me know. I'm gonna need drivers. Yeah, AJC Knight sent down for cap compliance. His pads and gear remain in the Cats locker room. Expect a call up. Yeah, just long enough for him to not be um at the banner raising ceremony. So it is what it is. What's that, I dog? Um, the Jets fired Robert Saleh. Jeez, what are we? We're 5 games in. Oh, there must be something between him and Rodgers. That's crazy. Is that for real? I don't want to get it too off topic. Like, it's not his fault the offensive line sucks. Yeah, no, the rings are spectacular, man. They're beautiful. Colin, yeah, Balinski's in, Schmidt out. Yep, I like that move. Balinski's impressed us all last year when he did play, and Schmidt has not impressed us. So, I think it was Vincent yesterday that said, defense might be the ad that we need at the trade deadline. Um, doesn't look as though Schmidt's going to come in and pull a Kulikov, but we'll see. But if Balinskis can stay, if he can stay in the lineup, that'd be best. Right. No, I know. Eyes is saying Knight was sent down for cap reasons and Drieger can be claimed like Reimer was. Yeah, I mean, I understand the move. But then it's like, okay, so what are we doing when we want him up, right? So, because I know we got Nosik and who else is on? It's not Entwistle, because Entwistle, he actually made the roster even though he's somewhat injured, and Giles got sent down. So, hey, what's that? Hold on a second. Let me scroll down all the way to the bottom. Hey, thank you, Colby. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Colby. He says there's a conspiracy that Robert Saleh got fired because he wore a patch of a Lebanese flag. I don't believe it, though. That's interesting. That sounds like Twitter. What were the rings, like 55 carats, eyes? Those were sweet, right? Vincent says 130,000 in cap space, 22 players. He's not coming back unless the math works. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, Vincent, is like, did we not plan for this? Right? I mean, I guess Drieger is the plan, but Drieger hasn't exactly looked spectacular. What are we doing? I mean, I understand the cap. I get that part. But like, is the plan to just jerk Spencer Knight around in the AHL until Bob retires? Like, is that the plan? Because it's starting to look like that's the plan. I know they said he's going to be back, but you're right with what space, unless we put somebody on LTIR. I did not think Knight was going to be the odd man out this year. So I guess we'll see how it all plays out. But obviously, even for the media down there, that was a surprise. Eyes wants to know, did I hear? Yeah. Trey had told me declined an 8-year, $88 million contract from the Rangers. So, jeez, so $11 million per, right? But I guess with what's his name, Nyland. Well, not Draisaitl just got like $14 million, right? So, geez, hold on. I got to close the window. The neighbor decided to fire up his lawnmower. Just give me a second. Give me a second. Oh. All right. The mic probably doesn't pick it up for you guys, but it's loud in my ear when he runs it. Hey, GJ. So, yo, Jaws, summer is over and a new season around the corner. Couldn't buy tickets to the Panthers game and to Perry, but we'll be watching as many games as I can with you guys. Hey, I appreciate that. Much appreciated. But now the game tonight is on ESPN as well as ESPN Plus. So I guess it's not on Scripps with the with the banner ceremony. They want to have that nationally televised. The stream starts at 6:30. We're starting to stream at 6:30. So I says Swayman raised the bar. Paul Marie says Igor isn't better than Bob. It's going to really be it's really going to be interesting to see how that all pans out, because these players are now starting to, eyeball the cap going up and kind of wanting to get paid in advance of the cap going up. And I don't blame the teams if they don't like that trajectory. Metal says, who's going to be on that bottom pair if Balinskis and Schmidt are out? Kierstead is still on the team. And what was that? The big guy's name? Megna? He's a defenseman. He's the D-man, right? But remember, Matt Kierstead is still on the team too, in the AHL. So at least we know we have a guy that's he can play in the bottom pair and not hurt you too much. Frank says, hey, that ring sucks. It's too pretty and perfect and expensive. Frank, I tell you what, Frank, if you get one, well, you just send it to me. If you don't want it, you just send it to me. All right, brother? Vincent said, Igor said himself that Bob is the best. Interesting. Bolvar says, two things, Jaws. How is everyone going to get to the game? A platoon or a motorboat? Second, after the drink incident, finding out sparkling ice is $1. I really feel stupid right now. I don't know. What's the weather like down there for you all? Are the outer bands starting to hit? I know Chucky, the guy that sent us the Chucky Bells, he lives in the Keys and he already evacuated. Paul, are you watching? Did you evacuate? Worldly Writer says the Leafs are winning the cup. But you failed to say which year. You failed to say which year, brother. I says we should have re-signed Swaggy before the cap goes up to Metal. Boston is going to raise their we signed Swayman banner. Okay, I like that one. Now the new content that I had told you about that's going to be out tomorrow. I got to get all the jerseys and hats together. I got to clean up this room. But starting tomorrow, there will be a little bit of a different vibe to the daily grind on this channel. So now that everybody that I would give my attention to during the day either died or left, I have free time. So not counting Kyle, obviously, but he gets my attention at night. Marie says the hurricane is still on the beach in Cancun. Yeah, well, it's just kind of sitting there. I wouldn't trust that forecast, to be honest with you. I would not trust that it doesn't come, hit a little bit further south. I says Edmonton got picked to win the cup by most of the ESPN crew. Yeah. What are they going to say? Right? They're just piggybacking on what the Panthers did last year. I mean, look, Edmonton could do it, right? But I think it's going to be another team from the East, and I kind of know the name of the team too, and you guys already know that. Hey, True, how you doing, bud? Hey, you finally made it. How you doing, bud? How you doing, Nick? Frank says I'm going to have to work overtime with my wig in South Beach to afford that ring. That's a lot of overtime, Frank. We'll keep it PG. I was going to say something, but we'll keep it PG. Let us know how the fundraising goes. Yeah, Kyle's the real MVP. I think I just heard him. I think I just might have heard him, right? Paulie said, you've been telling people you think it's going to go south. The longer it sits there like that, the more of a chance it's going to go south, because eventually your front's going to come down and push it down. Vincent says the last time the Leafs won, there were 6 teams in the league. Yes. Metal says, how biased is ESPN going to be towards Boston tonight? I don't know. I mean, it was pretty bad, obviously, when it was the Rangers, and I know it wasn't ESPN. I think it was TNT. But maybe we finally earned some respect now that we've actually won the cup, right? Wait a minute. Civil says, good news that Sordiff and Samoskevich are in the lineup, but bad news, where's Knight? Do you mean on the – I think Sordiff is injured, though. Do you mean on the roster? You mean on the roster, or did they just say – because I think they're starting tonight with Boquist and Greer and Gadjevich, right? I think that's the 4th line tonight. Oh, hey, Sybil. Thank you, bud. Oh, I didn't mean, what did I do? I showed, okay, you meant roster. Okay. I was going to say he healed up quick, right? True says, now that we have hurricanes that magically form in the Gulf and head east instead of forming near Africa and traveling west, it's a little fishy to me. Well, we've had that a couple of times. It's been a while. But these two, it's awfully late in the season is what it is. Yeah, Samoskevich is playing tonight. He just was gifted that spot, and I love to see it. Trey wants to know who's centering tonight. Yeah, it's Boquist. Yeah. Who's that? Jake, the Minnesota Sports fan? How you doing, bud? Yeah. It's Boquist. So what did they call it? George called it something with the J's or something, like the 3 J's or something, because it's Jesper Boquist, Jonah Gadjevich, and AJ Greer. So I forget the nickname he gave. Mother Nature wants to torture the west coast of Florida. I got friends in the Tampa, Naples area. They're not exactly pleased. Hey, Jeff, how you doing, buddy? He says, I'll miss Nick Cousins and Lomberg, especially Lomberg. It's going to be weird. It's going to be weird having the banner raising ceremony without those guys there. All the work that Lomberg especially did to get us there. So that's definitely going to be weird. Trey says, so you have a little competition between Mackey and Boquist until Nosek comes back. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a while, though. I mean, I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, because the last quote that Maurice gave was, it's going to be a while before he's skating, when he was talking about Nosek. So that could be like 6 years. The dude could have already retired, and because it's going to be a while in Maurice's world. That's who knows when that guy's coming back. So I just hope Samoskevich can hold on to that spot, right? Detron says, yeah, I kind of like the Flames a little bit more now. Well, I think it was Kyle was talking to me, and he said it's going to be weird. It already would have happened. Oh, it would have happened maybe today. however Lomberg is going to get his ring, but he'll be walking around shaking Huberdeau's hand, shaking Uyghur's hand, and he's the one with the Stanley Cup champion ring and not them. That's going to be a little bit awkward. It's going to be a little bit awkward. Jeff wants to know, what will it take for the team to repeat? Health. And whoever the backup goalie is going to be needs to be as good as the last two backup goalies with Alex Lyon and Anthony Stolars. I don't know what the plan is now. I understand the math totally. I'm not complaining about that. But in terms of who's the backup goalie, when we want to give Bob a break, at this point, your guess is as good as mine. I don't know what they're going to do, because this problem with Spencer Knight's contract is not going away. It's not going away. So I don't know, man. But in terms of repeating, health and making sure Bob doesn't really have to start, certainly no more than 50 games at the most. You'd like to see an even split, which is what I thought we were aiming for with Spencer Knight. But what are we going to do? Bring him up every time we just want him to play a game? I mean, I get it, but I have no idea what they're doing. None whatsoever. Frank says, tonight, Samoskevich scores. I hope so. Meadow says, no sick will leave, and then we'll sign him years from now, healthy, and he'll win a cup with us, right? I says, what we need is for Samoskevich to score 100 points in a breakout season. That might be a little high. It might be a little bit high. GJ, the opening night roster is on the Florida Panthers website, but also on their Twitter. It's everybody you would expect. The extra defenseman is Schmidt. So the top six on defense are Ekblad. I got to say it in the right order, Jaws. Forsling, Ekblad, Mikula, and Boquist, and then Kulikov, Balinskis, with Nate Schmidt as the extra defenseman. Frank says Spencer is not going to AHL. We're carrying 3 goalies. He's not even on the roster, Frank. You must have missed that. Oh, he said goals, not points. Frank, he got sent down to the AHL. He already got sent down. We don't have the cap space. So that's why I'm saying I don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't mean that in a bad way. Usually I have a pretty good grip on what I think they're doing, but this one, it doesn't help. I got to get used to the other. What's the other website that was like cap friendly? What's the name of the website so I can start looking at the cap stuff again? Because this one kind of took me by surprise. I didn't realize we were in this kind of shape. I still wouldn't have said we were going to send Spencer Knight back down. But is that Amanda? Hi, Amanda. How you doing? She says, what's my prediction on Samoskevich stat line? He seems like he's creative on offense. Thank you, guys. Puckpedia. And Trey says Sport Track. I kind of thought about it yesterday. I'm thinking, give me 35 points. Give me 10 goals. But basically what I want out of Samoskevich is 10 goals, 25 assists, and don't screw up that line on defense. Because like I said yesterday, the Lundell-Luosterainen line, that combination as a third line is elite in terms of third line defensively. So Samoskevich, 10 goals, 25 assists, and just don't be that guy. Don't be that guy that screws it up on defense. Vincent says, Knight's gear was still in the Panthers locker room on Tuesday morning, but Zito cited travel concerns calls by Hurricane Milton as to why that's the case. Yeah, your guess is does that mean they were worried about him flying? Maybe, I don't know what. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I'm not sure. I don't know what we're doing with Spencer Knight. I mean, it was what? 2, it was like 3 years ago. Stu and I sat here and it was like, that's it. It's Knight's job. Bob's time is coming past. We handed the torch to Spencer Knight, and now we can't even figure out why his gear is in the locker room or not. Oh, Metal's OnlyFans, right? Hold on a second. Jeff wants to know, can Reinhardt score 50 goals again? It could happen. I forget who it was. I think maybe it was Vincent or somebody said they thought, like a little bit of regression. Like, the point being, he could score 17 fewer goals and still score 40. But I think Verhaeghe's going to be this year's Reinhardt. I've been saying that. I'm hoping to will it into existence. Verhaeghe's on a contract here, so I think he's going to be this year's Reinhardt. Maybe what I would love to see, I think I said this like a couple of years. I might say this every year. Give me Barkov, Reinhardt, and Verhaeghe all with 40 goals. Give me Barkov, Reinhardt, and Verhaeghe all with 40 goals. That, I think, is it's possible. It's possible. Metal Verhaeghe in overtime tonight. Thank you for reminding me. I have to get the Matthias and overtime stuff to the other laptop because I can't use this laptop because it's got to stay where it is because Kyle tripped and busted up the Ethernet cord. So it's rigged. We'll put it that way. Pente says Sasha won't ever score 40 goals. He's too unselfish. I mean, he did get the 39 the one year, though. So that's kind of why I think it was 39. It was either 39 or 38. That was the President's Trophy season. But so I'm just like, just give me one or two more. You know what I mean? Just give me one or two more. It was 39. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. Just one more. And you know what, Pente? I would almost guarantee that the year he scored 39, he probably passed up at least 3 empty netters that would have put him over 40. I guarantee if we went back and watched all the highlights, the year he scored 39, he passed up empty netters that would have gotten him over 40. I'm sure of it. iDog says we'll have to pay Carter so much money if he does what Reinhardt did last year. I know. But I guess we're going to have lots of cap space when Frank's done trading Spencer Knight. That's the other thing, Pente, is I'd like to see him get 100 points too, right? Hey, Kyle, I hear you. Okay. Come say hi. Oh, yeah, I need you to take those clothes out of the dryer too, because as you can see, I got sheets waiting to go in. All right, he's waking up. Frank says Viola called Bennett the heart and soul of the Panthers, and he knows Bennett will be here for a long time. That pretty much says Bennett is getting an extension. When did that was that in the we still haven't watched it, the Amazon Prime thing and the ESPN Plus thing. Still haven't gotten around to watch it. I think we're going to try to watch it this weekend since the Dolphins are on the bye. When both of our eyes got fried. We watch the Red Zone a lot on Sundays and even when the Dolphin game is on, and it's blinding. It's blinding. It's fun, but like I can't do too many hours of it because it just both Kyle and I just kind of like walking around looking at stars. Jeff wants to know any plans for coming down to a game. I'd like to be able to get down there in between Thanksgiving and Christmas. It just all depends on finances and everything. And they got to stop having hurricanes. That would be also a nice thing. Stop having hurricanes down there. What about the ring ceremony, Frank? Yeah, they had canceled that, right? Yeah. Oh, he said it at the ring ceremony. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. So that's really interesting, Frank. So he didn't say that about Ekblad, huh? He didn't say that about Ekblad, right? So that seems to be Viola's just telling Bill Zito, which you know what it is Viola watches the podcast. That's actually proof that Viola watches the podcast. Because what did I say yesterday? I said what I thought would happen they would let Bennett walk. Viola saw that, wanted to make sure that he got the message out, and now it won't happen. Yeah. In my head, in my imagination, that is proof that they listen. Nick says you can always stay at my place. Oh yeah, I appreciate that, Nick. It's getting down there. I gotta get down there. The tickets, the plane tickets for Kyle and I to go down there are $800 to go and to come back. It's $800. Then I gotta have money for food and all of that, and we got to close the eBay store for a week. So like the whole thing to come down there and see my parents and go to a game and everything. It's going to cost me $2,000. I don't have $200. So we'll see how it goes. We do have some books though from the last time we went to the auction. We have some books that there's like 3 books where if they sold, like my financial position for the rest of the year is copacetic, is really good, but they got to sell. I says Ekblad won't get an offer until he unblocks Jaws on Twitter. That's very true. That's very true. Yeah. So Colin says, how often would I think that Balinskis and Schmidt will be switching spots in the lineup? That's a really good question. On one hand, I hope that Balinskis just takes that spot and keeps it. On the other hand, you don't want Schmidt to just rot away on the bench. I would think maybe you're going to see Balinskis the first 2 games, right? And then maybe you see Schmidt. I know he's going to want to get him on early. We had another situation like this. Like, forget the players. I don't remember if it was the 4th line or defense. It might have been last year with defense where Maurice wanted to get everybody in a game like in the first week or so. He didn't want guys to just be sitting and not playing at all. So I suspect you'll see Balinskis get a game or 2, right? And then you see Schmidt come in, and then we'll go from there. Vincent, yeah, they all watched the show. There's been in my imagination, they all watched the show, right? Just like the first video, right? I mean, the first video of the channel is me giving a message to the owners as if, right? As if, But then again, back then, that's when Sifu was really active on Twitter. And I actually know that he watched some of the stuff I put out, early on, because he was just like a fan. He was like one of us on Twitter for a while there until his wife told him to get the hell off of Twitter, and he had to leave. I says we all should have a bake sale to raise money for Jaws. It's gonna have to be a special kind of brownie to raise that kind of funds. Who's Trey says, so how does everybody feel about Vegas being a part of the Tkachuk trade now? That's right. That's right. What Trey is referring to is Cole Schwint got released, and now Vegas has Cole Schwint. Now, hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us. I don't think he's going to turn into Jonathan Marchessault, so I feel relatively safe there. The irony of the whole Cole Schwint thing is that everybody knows the Tkachuk video story, but like a week before that, there's one video on this channel. One. In 8 years, there's one video where I talk about the AHL guys and who I think our best prospect might be. One. And I made that video and it was Cole Schwint. And then whatever it was, a week later, he was part of the Tkachuk trade. So I'm not bragging about any of our AHL guys anymore. I made one, and they literally traded the dude. Hey, don't start, Trey. Don't start. Don't start. Jake says, I'll say prayers up for those in Florida, for Milton, and those still fixing things from Helene. That whole thing is a mess, man. Now, my parents live on the Space Coast along with my daughter. They don't live together, but like 5 minutes away from each other. So they're putting up all their shutters and everything like that. But I don't trust the path that they, I mean, first it was supposed to just kind of go straight across. And now it's way down here. And they're still like, no, it's still going to go exactly at the same space at the same time. I don't know about that. But what's going on in North Carolina is just wicked crazy. If I had, I remember being in Hurricane Andrew, and I remember being out there at some of the trailer parks and whatnot, helping afterwards. I was dating a girl during Hurricane Andrew who lived in a trailer park in Homestead, and there was like 50 homes, and there was 2 left standing, and hers was one of them. So I remember driving out there with her, and we were like, passing out water and just trying to help people like find their stuff, because it was tornadoes, so everything had just been like, but it was all kind of still contained within the park. That's not something I'll soon forget. There was 2 houses left. It was like there was like no damage to the 2 trailers. Everything else was completely flattened. I said, Schwint and Danisenko, Vegas is going to have a dynasty. Jeff says, should I worry about the hurricane in Boca Raton? I mean, I don't think there's a big issue for the East Coast unless it like decides to just kind of like come straight up the Keys. But like if I lived in the Keys or anywhere on the West Coast, I'd be out of there. That's for sure. Drew says it's going to hit Carolina. They're trying to clear that land. They want the lithium. What's it going to do? Go across and then come back? We've had that happen before. We've had that happen. We had that happen in 2004. There was one hurricane or tropical storm that came in and hit the Space Coast. I think it was Gene. And it kind of hit, it kind of grazed and hit, and then came all the way back around, loop-de-looped, and hit again. I can't remember which one that was. Maybe Ivan. Maybe that's the one, 58. There was like 3 hurricanes, because I remember, because Matthias had just been born. And there was like 3 hurricanes that hit us within like a month or something. We had no electricity for 13 days. And then we had power for about a week. And then the next one hit, and we had no electricity for 11 days. And that was while Matthias was like 6 weeks old. Ludwig is with the Avs now. Okay. Trey says, my parents are being stubborn in Fort Myers. They're in the city, and the house sits on a hill, so not at risk for storm surge, but still at risk of a car getting yeeted through the window. Yeah. And, tornadoes are going to hit, as far as I know, tornadoes are going to hit the highest. That's why the tornado formed here right down my driveway. I'm on the top of a hill. It's not a big hill, but it's a hill. And the driveway, it's a long gravel driveway, and it's literally the peak of the hill. And a couple of years ago, we had a tornado form, and it just plopped down right behind the house at the end of the drive and went right down the gravel driveway. And then when it got to the cornfield, it just went away. It was crazy. It wasn't, tornado. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like it was really quick, but it tore things up. 58 says, I didn't have power for like a month straight in 04. Yeah. There were still people who hadn't had power back when the next ones were hitting. Colin says, the Panthers plan to recall Spencer Knight at some point. Former BC goalie was assigned for cap purposes. Right. Well, that's the thing, is we know it's for cap purposes, but what we can't figure out is how it's going to get any better. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand if we can't afford him now, like if he puts us over the cap now, what's going to be different in a week? right? So I don't, that contract, God, that contract that we gave him has just, his whole career from the beginning. He gets blocked by Bob. Then he has the assistance program. And then now it's like he's blocked by his own contract because he can't just be left there to be a normal backup because he's making so much money. I says someone is getting traded. You think something's getting traded? That was the other storm, Charlie. Yeah. Who are we going to trade, Eyes? You mean like you think like maybe Nate Schmidt? Could we trade or one of the fourth line guys? Knight for Bedard if we got to do it. True says if Drieger going to back up Bob, and I don't know. I don't. Even over the course of the 8 years of this channel, if I didn't know, I still make something up. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, but if Eyes is saying someone's getting traded, I mean that we only got 22 on the roster anyway, right? I don't know. Why don't they just put Ekblad on LTIR? If they put Ekblad on LT, just have him do the banner ceremony, go out there, play half the game. Oh, my arm hurts, my ankle hurts. Put him on LTIR. He can stay healthy for the playoffs. That fixes our cap space. Done. There. Solved. Yeah, how else can we make space? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they could put Nosek on IR or even LTIR. That could happen, right? But why not? I guess my point is why not just do it now? Like whatever move is coming to make room for Spencer Knight, right? I mean, like if you're going to waive a guy, I know you don't want to waive Drieger, and that's the thing. If you're going to, would Drieger have? Yeah, Drieger would have to clear waivers. Are we really going to? I hope the plan is not Drieger at backup and just Spencer Knight where he was last year. I hope that's not the plan because Drieger has not been consistent since he left here, and he hasn't been exactly impressive in the action he's gotten. Knight has looked pretty good. So part of my concern there is not so much about where Spencer Knight, it's that I'm not so sure I got all the confidence in the world in Drieger to be what Lyon and Stolarz was last year. So I mean, I know Drieger was good before, but he's not been good since he left here. So I guess we'll have to see. But Trey says, I told you yesterday, I think they're going to ride Bob like he's Hellebuck. I hope not. I hope not. Jake, oh yeah, we're streaming all the games. We're absolutely streaming all the games. First one is tonight at 6:30. Hey, Riley. Who said that? I says, Ekblad broke his finger putting on his ring to the LTIR. And D-Tron says, Nosek didn't survive the infamous Pomo training camp. That's possible, too. Yep, Ekblad has a ruptured spleen, right? Right. iDog says, let's just rotate Lyon and Stolarz on one-year deals until the end of time. I guess we'll find out. I says, Justin FYI, Drieger went to the AHL finals last year. Well, the AHL finals. Yeah. I mean, I'm talking about in terms of being at the NHL level. It's not been good. We'll see. I kind of was hoping Knight was going to get there to be there opening night with the banner ceremony, but it is what it is. If that's the worst thing we got to worry about, then we're good to go. All right, Jeff. We'll see you, buddy. Somebody had said something back here. I'm trying to scroll through. Oh, it was Trey with the football practice after Charlie. Yeah, yeah. You're damn right. Hey, Colby, how you doing, bud? Thank you, Colby. He says Drieger will be great. All right, well, there you have it. There you look. And plus, the more I bitch about it, the better he'll do. Right? The more I bitch about it, the better he'll do. Got to have something to complain about. Jeez. Right? There's nothing left to complain about with the Deshaun, I haven't watched it. We haven't watched it yet. We have not watched it yet. I think we're going to watch the one on Prime and the one that was on ESPN Plus. We're going to try to watch those this weekend since the Dolphins are on the bye. Thank you again, Colby. Riley thinks I'd be a wonderful goalie for the Panthers. A little small. I'm about a foot small of a goalie. Yeah, about a foot small. Vincent says, here's an idea. Probably Nosek returns going to be an indicator for Knight, so they got to send a spare player down. Well, and that's part of the problem, right? Is everybody else is, you can get claimed on waivers, right? I says, bad news. Josh can't do any giveaways on the channel due to YouTube rules. Good news. I can and will be on the stream later tonight. Very interesting. Oh, I hadn't checked the mail, eyes. If it was a package, it didn't get delivered because they always put those in my van. But if it was small enough to fit in the mailbox, I'll send Kyle out there. Yeah, Colin, the Finns won a football game, exactly. Yeah, I'm a little short to play goalie, just by a little bit, just a little bit. I got the weight. I got enough weight on me, right? Like how these guys are like 6'5", 180. I got the 180 down. We're good there. It's a padded envelope. All right, I'll have to check the mailbox. Usually they put stuff in the van, and especially since yesterday was Monday, usually they just bring me all my mail and put it in the van. But yeah, somebody mentioned it earlier about Robert Saleh getting fired. Yeah, I mean, what did they think? Right? I mean, the offensive line is crap. There has to be something there between him and Rodgers. I mean, that's just and Rodgers, I mean, either Rodgers is happy about that or pissed about it, because Rodgers came there to win, and now I mean, they're only 2-3, right? I don't know, man. That's a weird timing. It's a weird timing. I know, he says, and they kept Hackett, so Rodgers was running the team. Yeah. Okay. So then there was, yep. Well, that should be interesting. That should make the Pat McAfee show rather interesting. I had to look, eyes. I thought that's something Trey would say, but that was well done. He says maybe he pulled a Corey Perry and slept with someone's mom. Riley, it's good here, bud. It's good. It finally cooled off. It's about 64 degrees, on our way to a scorching high of 68. So we'll have the windows open. Now, the opening day intro was a little bit different from what you guys are used to, but will explain that in the beginning of the video. And then like I said, there's going to be two series. There's going to be one series that's going to be content on a mostly daily basis. Then there's going to be a second series that's actually going to be the recap intros. Since I don't want to go back to just using the puppets, and I don't have the dogs, right? So there's going to be two concurrent series going on. One that's going to be regular videos, and then one that's going to be the actual intros, the recap intros. Sure. Yeah, Jake, fall. I love it here, man. We have such an extended fall here. It's because it'll be in the upper 60s now, but we'll still have plenty of days. Even in December, sometimes we'll be in the low 60s for the high. All right, True says you got to go make some coffee. We're watching the game from work tonight. All right, brother. We'll see you. I'll see you tonight. Would I ever consider having a pet duck? Hmm. Oh no, eyes. He was already mentioned up above. He was already mentioned. Sorry about that, eyes. Um, I don't know who it was, but when we were talking about Cole Schwint, I think it was Trey said that he could become the player that shall not be named. Would I ever consider having a pet duck? Um, hadn't thought about that. To be honest, I wouldn't want to have a pet duck around here because the hunters would try to. But that's a different story. Um, no pets for me right now. That's for sure. That I have a pet owl, Vincent. We have a pet owl. He's loose on the property. I told now. Did I tell that story on the other channel, and that's why you're bringing it up? I forget. So I forget. True says the only time you open the windows is when the power is out. I guess it's still humid down there all the time, right? That's a good question. Kala wants to know who will score the first goal of the season. Every time anybody ever asks who's going to score the first goal, I always say Ekblad. And it's been wrong every single solitary time. So I'm going to say Ekblad. I just keep saying it until it's right. I just keep saying it until it's right, until it actually happens. I don't know that Kyle would want a pet duck. Kyle's not Kyle loves the benefit of having the pets, but he's not how can I put this? The dogs wouldn't have starved if something happened to me, but they might have missed a few meals. You know what I mean? Like come to 5 o'clock in the afternoon is I didn't. That's right. I forgot to feed the dog. So I'm not saying they would have starved, but he doesn't really have that. I would be concerned if Kyle was alone and it was just an animal and it was his responsibility, the feeding and care of said animal. I says, I'm sure it won't be Mackey. Let's see if that works. What's my thoughts on Stamkos joining Nashville? I was kind of surprised / disappointed to see the way Tampa handled that. You kind of thought that, Tampa made a choice that a lot of teams don't make, which is kind of like what Vegas does, and kind of like what the Patriots used to do, which is the older vet. Thanks for the memories. Bye, 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 bye. And, basically they replaced him with Gensel. So he went where he's wanted, and Nashville looks pretty good. And I actually have the Panthers beating the Preds in the Stanley Cup final as my prediction for this year. Any team looking like a surprising team. I would not be shocked. Well, I said this in my season preview. Ottawa. I wouldn't be surprised to see Ottawa make the playoffs. Wouldn't be surprised to see Ottawa make the playoffs. If Ullmark can play like Ullmark and Brady can go off, I know they've got some holes, but the East is just so full of teams that are aging, and you don't know how much longer they can even hang on to the bottom of the standings. Islanders, Capitals, Penguins. I don't think the Lightning are at that stage yet. But that last wild card spot, if Ullmark plays well, it could be any of those teams, right? Buffalo, Detroit. I don't think Montreal. But yeah, Ottawa I picked to get that last wild card spot just because I had a feeling like Ullmark would show up well, considering the whole thing that went down with him being traded and how Swayman has acted and all of that. Trey says we're trading Barkov tomorrow if the Bruins win. Belinskis is in. Yep. Okay, good. So it says if we play Nashville, that will be our Fourth series against Stamkos. Second chance for Brunette to get revenge. Third chance for us to get revenge against I lost it. Our former player and Knights MVP against Marshmallow. Yeah. Oh, hey, MJ, how you doing, bud? Hey, MJ, thank you, brother. Thank you. What's he got for me? He says, hey, Jaws, sorry for coming in late. That's okay, brother. He says, hope everyone is well. Additional apologies for not being on the podcast last week. Can't be here every day. I can barely be here every day. Don't worry about it, my friend. Because I was in Milwaukee for the Brewers-Mets playoff games. That was awesome. I'll have headlines in a moment. Outstanding, MJ. Very cool. I know Kyle was watching some of that. I came in and I jinxed them. Well, I think it was the Brewers were ahead 2-0, and I walked into the room, and then they wasn't up 2-0 anymore. Right? Hey, Adonis, how you doing, bud? What Colby? I didn't mean to do that. Let's see. What was Colby's first thing that he said? You said, but way better defense, but I didn't see the first thing that you said. Okay, you guys talking wrestling. MJ saying hi to everybody. That's cool. Trey's got wrestling going. Yeah, MJ. Yeah, Pete Alonso hit a 3-run homer in the ninth to give the Mets the win. Yeah, that's on me. That's on me. I walked up and I'm like, oh look. Is what it is. Yep. Yeah, the Brewers fans. They made it the whole game. They were that close. But that's sports, man. That's sports, right? Trey says Jaws Riley is training to be a wrestler, so I always ask him when I was training. Gotcha. Yeah, I thought that's what it was. Yeah. Chloe says, Bad Dog Sports Running with the Devils are my favorite creators besides Flying Fluffy. Who's this Flying Fluffy guy? I've been hearing a lot about him. We're going to have a good year. We're getting to 10,000 subscribers or something. I haven't figured out the or part yet. I just might come up with a new excuse every recap for 10,000 subscribers or else. Because I want to be at 10,000 subscribers before we start our 10th year. We didn't exactly I'm not like I put out a lot of content. It's my own fault. But we didn't exactly gain a lot of subscribers from the amount of subscribers that we had at the end of the Game 7 stream to the amount of subscribers we had when I clicked live today. We gained 5 subscribers all summer. Oh, that's okay, though. That's okay. That's all right. They're trying to kill me, but it ain't working. Trey says, now that the dog's gone, they're really going to think you're fluffy. That's a good point. Mel says, the Dolphins are one fumble and one backwards toe away from 0-5. That was a touchdown, by the way. I know it wasn't a touchdown, but come on. I mean, I get it. I know the rule. I get it. Yeah, okay. But if I'm a Dolphin fan, I'm screaming bloody murder. It's like so many odd rules. But I get it. The whole foot has to come down in bounds, blah, blah, blah. Right? Riley, I don't really know the goal songs in the Western Conference. That's definitely a question I cannot answer. Yeah. Last thing here real quick before we get ready to go. MJ, holy crap. Thank you, brother. Thank you, MJ. Here we go. Yeah, he's got his headlines. Robert Saleh got fired. Yep. Kyle's going to be talking my ear off about that. Praying for everyone in Tampa in preparation for Hurricane Milton. Rest in peace. Louis Tiant, Red Sox pitcher. Vince McMahon sued. Terry Francona named Reds manager. Terry Francona was an old man when I was a young man. How he's still managing? Like, I haven't watched baseball in a long time. So maybe I'm thinking about somebody else. But I mean, I haven't watched baseball in a long time, and Francona was like one of those retread managers back when I used to watch. Am I imagining that? Am I imagining that? I remember Tommy Lasorda managed till he was like almost 80 years old. Okay, so Francona came out of retirement to manage the Reds. Hey, my brains still work. Yeah, headline. Miami Dolphins did not fire Mike McDaniel. There were some times though. There were some times during the week, during the play. Francona's dad played in the majors many years ago, so maybe that's why the name sounds so old to me. Yeah. Yeah. The beard is too fluffy. Is it a little? It's a little bit. It's a little bit. Yeah. It's not like I got any women around here to shave for. You know what I mean? Right? For the four women, for the four women that will watch this video, if there's even that many, longer beard or shorter beard. Now, my ex-girlfriend / high school sweetheart, for some reason, likes the playoff beard. Like when it's just like scraggly and bushy and all of that. She's like, keep the beard. I'm like, what's wrong with you? You going blind in your old age? But most of the time, I kind of like the key. It's a little scraggly. It's a little bit scraggly. But who am I here to impress, right? MJ says shorter beard. Yeah, playoff hockey, go to the longer beard, right? Yeah, that'll be fun if I meet anybody new between now and the playoffs, explaining to them why, so here's the deal, sweetheart. Between April and July or whatever, I'm not going to shave. I'm not going to shave, right? Karen hated it. I'm pretty sure that's part of the reason why she left. Oh, if only life was that simple. If only life was that simple. I don't like the longer one because like this, you could tell it's black and white, right? It's black and white. But when it grows long, it all blends together and it's just gray. It's just gray. I'm not crazy about the long one. Plus it sits there and itches and I sit there and I itch. And I watch the replay of the stream and I'm sitting there the whole time like this and then just playing with it. So Kyle is downstairs listening right now, or getting his breakfast anyway. Trey says, am I going to grow the beard like yours? No, I don't think so. Not in this lifetime. Kyle's good, MJ. He's enjoyed his time off, right? He's enjoyed his time off. He's from being on camera anyway. He does all the eBay listing and everything like that, so he helps out a lot. And my daughter's actually coming to visit, I guess next week. Yeah, she's coming to visit her mom in Delaware, and she's gonna stay with me for one night. They planned a whole 10-day vacation together. Nobody even told me. Nobody even told me. And then they're like, hey, what night do you want Emiliano to spend at your house? I'm like, what? Who? What? Somebody's coming. And so, yeah, I'm doing good though, Andrew. I'm ready. I'm ready. When you guys see the opening day intro, you'll understand. It's like the opening day intro is not what you guys have come to expect. It is very, very much a closure on that was the 8 years of the channel, and now we move on to year 9. So, no, that's okay, Colby, brother. One day I try to remember. I try to remember it. It's okay, man. It's okay. It's my bad. That's on me. That's on me. All right, everybody. I got to roll, and yeah. 6:30 tonight, you will see Kyle's fresh face, freshly shaven, ready to go downstairs, and we'll be locked and loaded. We've got we've got some special treats for tonight. And yeah, I'm ready. You're ready. We're all ready. 82 games. We'll be here for all of them. Same deal as you guys have expected, with some extra bonuses thrown in. Thank you all for Super Chats. Thank you, MJ. Thank you, everybody. And I will see you all in about 5.5 hours.